What's up, y'all? It's your girl Ayla Shay, and I am back with another video for you guys. So as you can tell from the title down below, we are going to go ahead and talk about mermaids today. Y'all gonna get this front camera quality today, baby, because I need to know how much I'm talking. I need to know when to stop the video. So first of all, if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Shout out to the new scenery. This is my new desk that my coworker got me, so shout out to you, Erica. So we are going to get right into the video. I just have a little bit of feedback to give you guys, or a little bit of a disclaimer before we go ahead and get started. For those of you that don't want the background information, I will drop down below a timestamp to where I actually start talking about the content that you're here for. So if you're here from Instagram, then you're not really going to get any new information. I did call my aunt yesterday and she did not answer. I called her today and she was not in the mood to talk at all. So by the time you guys see this video, I will hopefully have called her on the same day that you're seeing it. And I might make this a little mini series if she provides me with more information. But basically, so like I said, we're here to talk about mermaids, and they are not the mermaids that you have grown up with. They are not Ariel combing your hair with a fork, cutesy wootsy. No, that's shook. That's not what's happening. So I just want to go ahead and thank everybody from Instagram. I got so much feedback from you guys. You guys have been amazing. Honestly, like, so much feedback, so many stories. Nobody's been rude or nasty. Nobody's been like, oh, this is some BS. Why do you believe this? Or you're crazy. Nothing. Nobody has been negative, and I want to thank you guys so much for that. So when I made the group chat that I tried to create on Instagram, it did not work. When I made it, there was 47 of you. I'm still getting notifications, still getting messages, and I'm like, oh, y'all really want this story. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Alrighty, so this is all very jumbled because I was trying to write it as she was talking, but I have this, like, this is a sheet of paper that I made for work. Don't tell nobody. I didn't have paper to really write down the story. Anywho, child. So as you guys know, or if you don't know, you're learning. I called my aunt, and I called her and I was like, hey, do you have any information about mermaids? Do you know anything about them? For those of you that don't know, I am Haitian. I'm American. I was born here, but my ancestry hails from Haiti. My mother's side of the family is from Haiti, and so like I went ahead and called my aunt to get that information. Mind you, she is my great aunt. She is the aunt of my grandmother. So she is my great grandmother's sister. So she's up there. My great grandmother passed away in 2005. And she was 90 something, I think like 93, 94. So she's up there. She done seen some things. She done been here for a while. So I called her and I was like, hey, do you have any information on mermaids? Do you know anything? Have you ever had any sightings yourself, etc., etc.? And of course, as soon as I brought this up, she was just like, no, I don't know anything like that. Why would you? She's like, no, that's all witchcraft, and it's the devil, and we don't really deal with that. So no, I don't know anything about that. And I'm like, you don't know anything. You don't have any stories, anything like that. And she's like, I mean, I've heard a few things, but you know, it's all fiction. It's not really real. And I was like, okay. Well, what have you heard? So after I pressed her for more information, she did give me, I think I wrote down 3 different things. And disclaimer, one of them is not mermaid related, but I still think it's interesting. And as I talk to her more and more and I get more information, I'm gonna update y'all. We gonna sip this tea together. So she was saying that, so she does know of a story. I don't know if this is just something that she's heard or if she personally knows this person. She did tell me about a story of a 1-year-old child going missing for about a year. So they returned when they were 2. And the details were a little fuzzy because once she started talking, she just gave me everything. So there was something about, I think my mom was also one at this time, possibly. so I think it was just like it hit kind of close to home for them because they're like, we have a 1-year-old in the family and this happened to a 1-year-old. So I think that was the overlap. But basically, a 1-year-old had went missing for about a year, and then when this 1-year-old came back, they came back stating, coherently, not like full on sentences, but being able to articulate that they remember they disappeared. They remember the mermaid, and so they were able to describe the mermaid as having very long hair, and not that they didn't have discernible facial features, but that the person couldn't remember exactly what they were. So they couldn't really, give a lot of information as far as how they looked. But they did vividly remember the very, very long hair. And then something about a gold ring. Now, I don't remember if the toddler came back with a permanent ring, like stuck on their finger, or if it was the mermaid had a ring. There's something about a gold ring, and then the mermaid has really, really long hair. And so that was pretty much it for that first one. Like I said in my Instagram stories, these stories are not that long, but I'm gonna give y'all what I got. So that was one thing. So the second thing is that the mother of one of our family members' husbands, so the mother-in-law, does have a story that she was able to volunteer, and I guess, got passed through. Somehow it got to my aunt. So my aunt was telling me that the mother-in-law remembers going into the ocean, like being abducted by these mermaids, and she came back altered. She didn't come back the same way that she left. And so she came back and she was telling people of what she remembered, and she described that she saw land animals under the water. So she saw things like chickens and cows, geese as well underwater. Now, from what I spoke with my aunt about, she was not able to determine whether or not, or she didn't voice whether or not these animals were dead, and they were just like the bones or like the decaying bodies of these animals under the water, or if they were living and breathing under the water, if they were fine. So she did not express that. She didn't get into that. And then she remembers that as she was descending into the water, she just could hear people screaming, hear screams of people. Now, granted, she didn't say that when she was going under the water that there were other people there, so who's to say where these voices came from, where these screams came from. But that's something else that she stated. And then also, she did voice about long hair as well, and said that these mermaids had really long tails as well. And obviously, like you guys have seen the tails of mermaids, they're not like dog tails, they are the feet essentially. So she does remember a really long tail as well. And so when this mother-in-law of the family came back, she came back psychic. She came back with powers of healing people, being able to cure people's ailments. And I don't really know much of what happened to that family member. I personally do not know the family member. None of these accounts are my accounts. So I personally don't know that family member, but that is something that I know about. And then lastly, and again, like I said, these are very minimal stories, very, very minimal. I got what I could got, and I gave it to y'all, and if I get more, I'll update you, but this is all I got for now. I'm so sorry. This one is my grandmother, who currently lives in Haiti. She moved back a good amount of years ago. She moved back. What was that face? So she, according to my aunt, my grandmother, was like low-key clairvoyant when she was younger. And she has a story of my grandmother being about 3 years old, and she said that they often used to catch her just like looking up around her, like looking around at different things, eyes rolling, and they used to be like, what is wrong with this child? So apparently one day, I'm assuming what is my great-grandfather, I don't really know, my grandmother stopped someone from going to work because she claimed that she had visions of two very important people dying. and she was like, don't go to work, there's going to be a problem, there's going to be lots of death. And so later on, I don't know if that person went to work or not. My grandfather, I'm assuming, went to work or not. But later on, to my understanding of the same day, there was a revolt of something going on with the Haitian government. And this is not the 1804, how we got our independence. It's not that. It's not that at all. My aunt was not around for that. But there was something going on with the Haitian government, so where there was a revolt, a type of like overthrow, a type of, you know, standing up kind of mini revolution thing, and apparently anywhere from 400 to 500 people died. I don't have an exact number, that's just what my aunt told me. And yeah, I believe that there were two important people noted. I don't know if it was like a president and a prime minister, or a president and a vice president. I don't know. Two important people died, just as my grandmother said that they would. So there was that. And I don't know if maybe her knowledge, her like pre-existing knowledge was possibly like, oh, you know, I didn't see the 400, 500 people because they were, you know, unfortunately just casualties, and that's what happened. But she was able to see those two prominent people. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't even thought about it. My mother wasn't even thought about. My grandma was 3. Like, and then, I think that's about it, as far as what I have. But like I said, I don't have in-depth stories. I have called my aunt. We are going to continue correspondence, so if I get more information, I will definitely let you guys know. But I basically just wanted to go ahead and do this video because a lot of you have reached out to me with your versions of stories. A lot of people have come to me with questions, and I do want to try to answer those questions as best as possible. I don't know why a lot of these mermaid stories tend to hover around Haiti. That is not to say that they don't exist elsewhere. People have contacted me saying that they have had experiences of these same entities elsewhere. So it is not a thing that only is relative to Haitians. But I basically just wanted to create this because I feel like it should be a safe space. People should be able to hold whatever beliefs that they want and be able to feel comfortable talking about said beliefs. And so I don't want to, you know, I'm not going to be here to judge or shun anybody for anything that they want to believe. And I want you guys to drop below in the comments your experiences, because this is something that definitely should be talked about. This whole thing sparked off of Instagram because of a post. And so a lot of us were saying that we had seen a documentary that no longer exists. I do believe it's on YouTube. I do think you can find it, but it used to air on TV, and then they swiftly pulled it from air. And it's called Mermaids, the Body Found. I believe that's the name of it. It's either Mermaids, the Body Found, or Mermaids, the Body Unfound. I'm sure if you type it up on YouTube, you'll be able to find it. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. Go ahead and watch for yourself, and you'll see the things that are in there. But yeah, I just wanted to allow people to come here and talk about what it is that they know, talk about what it is that they remember or don't remember. And yeah, also disclaimer, if you're gonna come here and refute my stories or say that I'm doing this for clout or fame or whatever, first of all, my YouTube channel got like 40 something subscribers. Shut up. Shut up. Ain't nobody famous. Ain't nobody famous. Okay. At all. Secondly, I'm just relaying the stories. I've already said that these are not my stories. I have never had an encounter with a mermaid. I pray that I never have an encounter with a mermaid. That ain't none of my business. I live above the water. Yeah, no, this is not, I'm not doing anything for clout, anything for fame. I'm literally just giving y'all this information that I got because y'all said that y'all liked it. Like, y'all blew up my comment on that Instagram post, and I was like, oh, y'all fucking with this. So that is it, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you have any similarities, if you have anything, even if it's not your story, if this is a story that comes from your family, drop it down below in the comments. I'm going to try to reply to as many of you guys as possible. I am here for this content. I'm here for this conversation. Like, this is so dope. I love that y'all felt comfortable enough to tell me your stories. Like, please please put that out there so other people know. But if you like this, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Please, I really, really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because if I get more information and this becomes a thing, little baby, you're not going to want to miss my posts. You're not going to want to do that to yourself, all right? So go ahead and click that notification bell while you're there too, so that when I drop something, you get the notification. Okay? Okay. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, guys, and I will see y'all in my next video.